let's talk about Singularity. This game reminds me a lot of Call of Duty with the way it looks and the way it works and the way it is designed. Even the UI and everything reminds me a lot of Call of Duty Black Ops, if I had to be more correct. And it is actually made by Raven Studios, so it would make sense before it is most probably Raven Studio before they went into the whole Call of Duty black hole, because this game released in 2010. It was a really old game, and I never got to playing this. So I asked one of my friends on Discord that what I should play, and they're like, "Oh, why don't you try Prototype or Singularity?" And I was like, "Yeah, Singularity sounds cool because I never played that game actually, and I wanted to try it." So I was just like, you know what? I will try Singularity, and so I did. I started playing Singularity every single day, and in the end, I got the result.
1945, the Soviet Union continues to expand in both military might and political influence.
Soviet Russia holds a commanding position in the future destiny of the world.
But it was the United States that held the secret to atomic power.
Mr. Truman declares we must have atomic control. The flags of freedom fly all over the world.
This superiority would be short-lived, however, as Stalin's already at work on a plan of his own. While searching for uranium on a tiny island off the southeast coast of the Soviet Union, Russian engineers discovered E-99, a powerful and unprecedented source of energy. Seeing an opportunity for further world domination, Stalin authorizes unlimited development funds to explore the capacities of the substance. Project Director Viktor Borisov establishes an island research station, Katorga 12. For his groundbreaking research, he receives the Order of Lenin. Nikita Khrushchev succeeds Stalin. He accelerates the program, pressuring Borisov to begin field experiments. However, not only is E-99 capable of delivering unimagined power, it is also incredibly volatile. Yet Borisov is pressured to begin tests. The disaster has no known survivors. Moscow buries the installation, effectively wiping it from the map. 2010. A U.S. spy satellite flying over the area is blinded by a radiation surge. Fearing another Chernobyl, and suspicious of Moscow's secrecy, the reconnaissance mission over Katorga 12 is ordered by the Pentagon.
Put it in the most basic way, Singularity is a game that is set on this world-ending thing happening on this island where mutants are on a rampage, and you have our main character Renko, who has been sent on this island to actually save the world from this rampage that is going on from the mutant and everything. So yeah, and this game also has multiple endings, which also I'll discuss when come to the end. For now, the premise, you gotta get it. You have your partner Devlin and you yourself. Now, if my memory serves correctly, wasn't there a character named Devlin even in Call of Duty, or am I tripping? I think there was in one of the Call of Duties. I just can't put my finger on it because I've definitely heard the name Devlin previously as well. But anyways, you do start off with your comrade Devlin and you yourself on this island that is in some eastern part of Russia or something like that. So yeah, so you basically begin your journey there, and throughout the journey you go back in time, you come back in time. There's a lot of things depends on time manipulation and everything. And at first, you guys will think that this is kind of a Call of Duty clone because of how it looks, and the gameplay is a Call of Duty clone type of gameplay when it comes to gunplay. Yes, it is kind of Call of Duty clone kind gameplay, but it keeps a uniqueness while doing that, and I'll get to that as well. But yeah, so that is the basic premise. Basically, what happens is you investigate this place. There's a huge ass thing that happens. I don't know what that is called, but well, there's this huge ass blast that happens, and then you get sucked into that blast, and your helicopter crashes, and then you try to figure out what is happening. And as you figure out what is happening, you beat new enemies, you get guns and stuff, and yeah, it kind of gets crazy from that point onwards. You mean these enemies who are mutants, basically, who you shoot to blast their heads off? So yeah, I don't know, man. But let's just talk about the enemies first, shall we? They'll go through each and everything because this game has various stuff, weapons, enemies, a bunch of other stuff like main characters and stuff. Let's talk about mutants. So mutants, these enemies are the first enemies that you actually face in the game. They get wrecked pretty easily. You can basically one shot them by hitting them in the head. They are basically like equivalent of the Resident Evil 4 Los Ganados, where you just hit them in the head and they blast off. So it's very easy, or regenerators, if you want to put it more easily. But regenerators, my bad. I'm talking about Resident Evil 7 gooey monsters. Those guys. But those guys take more hit. These guys can easily be killed by like your pistol with just one shot in the head. It's pretty easy to kill them, and it's not a big deal. Then there are these enemies called Zeg. So what are Zegs? Zegs is also a mutant type of enemy, but they are basically like these electro type enemies, like Spider-Man live action electro type enemies, where like it's all bluey and stuff. Like they zap and everything, and they like become invisible and everything, and cannot be hit when they're invisible. They're these type of enemies. They are the second enemy you meet, other than like the human enemies. We're just going to the mutant enemies first, then we'll go to human enemies. But yeah, like these are the type. These are the like mutant enemies that you meet, the second mutant enemies that you meet, and they're a bit tough to kill because whenever they get invisible, you basically can't kill them. So you have to wait for them to reappear and shoot them because yeah, there is a silhouette you get whenever they're invisible, but you can't actually hit them with whatever you have, unless I think so you have your TMD, which is another type of weapon that I'll get to as well. But yeah, you can't do anything about it. All right, let's talk about the next enemy type, the phase sticks. Now these phase sticks are crazy. I hate these enemy types. Now there is a trick that you can use to kill them, and that is basically use your time rewinding powers. That is from the TMD. Again, I'll get to the TMD. Don't worry about it. But like, just telling you, like, TMD is basically your time rewinding powers. Literally calling time manipulation device. So yeah, so you age them and then they attack their own teammates for some reason and then blast off. So it's better to do that, but it takes a lot of your energy as well. So it's gonna be quite a tough thing to do because you need to have those E99 vials. And I had so much time, so much difficulty dealing with them on normal difficulty. Well, hard difficulty as well, because I played a bit of hard difficulty, and these guys basically blast onto you whenever they come towards you. They just run towards you like tick, 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 and they just kill you. So it is pretty hard to deal with them. Another enemy type is an enemy type that you can create. Basically, they're called the reverts. Basically, you just go forward and use your time manipulation technique to revert back the soldiers that will be attacking you, and yeah, you just revert them back to these weird ass mutants that can like take they just attack randomly. They don't even care who is who. Just attack randomly. That is basically it. And the final mutant type enemy you meet is these were called things called radions. They're these bug type of things, like buggy bug. That's a nice name for them. But they're like these bug type of things that like shoot lasers at you, and yeah, they do a lot of damage. So there's crazy amount of stuff that happens. While in humans, there isn't much with the humans. There's just like humans. There's the part where future guys humans and past guys humans. That's about it. They are the enemies. There isn't any other human type of enemies there. So yeah, like it's your basic enemies. With mutants, though, there are various types and they have various ways to be dealt with. But with humans, they're just whatever. Like they're all humans. Doesn't matter. Yeah, there's some of them are stronger. Like when you're fighting the future humans, you get stronger enemies. Like for example, there's this one that launches rockets, and then there's this one more which brings an autocannon. So like yeah, there's these guys, and again I'll get to the weapons as well right after this. But Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that happens. As for characters, we have the main character is Nathaniel Renko. That is his name, yes. And you basically have to take control of him, and he goes throughout time. You also have Nikolai Demichev, who's supposed to be the main villain of this game. And then we have Viktor Borisov and Katrin Norvikova. I think that is how her name is pronounced. You have these two guys who are basically will be your ally throughout the game. James Dillon is your opening guy, like intro guy, and that is about it. Those are the main characters that you get. Let's talk about weapons. There are about 7 weapons, I would say. Let's begin with the most basic of basic that you get first. There's a Centurion. Now, Centurion is basically a deagle, and you can, it's basically you can aim and shoot with this gun. It doesn't matter. I usually shoot with no aiming because it's just weird for me to aim. I also turned off aim assist because I hate that it locks onto it. It's really like it annoys me too whenever it like tries to bug on like rock onto it. So I will turn off aim assist. So like whenever like I aim, it really is hard to hit that shot. So I never try to aim and just take the hip shot because it's much easier to hit the hip shot. But yeah, you have these this deagle that is basically called Centurion in this game. I would say Centurion is a weapon that I least use because it was just whatever. Because every time I tried to use that weapon, it was just whatever to me. It never really ticked on me. It never took that special thing for me. Like it's like whatever. Just a gun. Now again, when I use a deagle, I feel like oh deagle, but Centurion just doesn't feel like doesn't give that same feel of oh deagle. The second weapon that we find is an assault rifle. So this assault rifle is like it's good, I guess, but I never really got to using it that much except for like the last part of the game because most of the time I had one of the best weapons in the game and I really enjoyed using it and I'll get to that as well. Alright, let's talk about the shotgun. I think this was my favorite shotgun. This was my second favorite gun in the game because I enjoyed like just gunning down these invisible as suckers. It was so fun doing that, just going in there and shooting them in the face whenever they're trying to hop on and melee you. It's just so fun because they just appear for this minute second and you can just shoot them and they'll just go flying and I love that. Yeah, shotgun can send people flying and I loved that. It was fun for me and I enjoyed mostly every part of it. Then you also get the sniper rifle. Now, talking about sniper rifle, I think the sniper rifle was pretty fun to use as well. It is definitely not as fun as using the other sniper rifle because it was way too easy. Like you just slow down time and then shoot. It's like because of your TMD, but still like come on, make it a bit challenging. It's not that challenging. I just zoom in, slow down time, shoot. Zoom in, slow down time, shoot. That's basically what is happening. And I can just if I aim on any of the humans' head, there's one shot. They explode. I love the exploding part, but it's still very easy to use a sniper, and I think the sniper should never be that easy to use. Doesn't matter the game, because it just takes away the fun of actually getting any kind of kills, and that's why I never used any of the sniper. Any other time I never used the sniper rifle because it was just way too boring to use that. Let's also talk about the spike shot. It is one of the worst weapons in this game, I think so, because I hated that gun with all my life. It takes forever for that guy to kill, and before that guy even gets killed, the other guy shoot me and kill me. It is basically like you shoot that guy, it takes its time charging up, first of all. You have to charge it up. Then you have to shoot it. You shoot that guy, it hits him. It takes like 2 seconds to blast off the shit, and it's just like, why? Why do I have to wait for all of this stuff? It's come on. Come on. Are you kidding me? This is some bullshit, right? Why do I have to wait for the spike shot to explode on that guy? And that doesn't even kill the guys near him. Even though it blasts inside him, it doesn't kill the guys near him. I have to shoot the other guys then, just for so that I can get the other guys killed. And it's not that fun really to do that because by the time that I get the shot in, I already am on half HP and it's not that fun honestly. And then we also have Detects launcher. That's what it's called, but it's just a grenade launcher. So the grenade launcher has two type of things basically. normal grenade launch here. You just launch the grenade, and the second is my favorite. It's basically you control the grenade with like you right click on the mouse button. I don't know on other consoles or anything. So you right click it on the mouse button, and then you just like move it around like it's you controlling that shell of grenade, and it's so fun to do that sometimes just because there's like this grouped up enemies, and then you do that and just lead it to a grouped up enemies like when they are fighting, these guys, the uh humans and the mutants when they're fighting. You use this launcher against them. It's so fun to use, dude. Like, I'm not even joking. It is very fun to use. Moving on, I will talk about my favorite weapon in the standard weapons that you get, which are upgradable weapons, basically. You can upgrade the weapons. I'll get to that as well. But these are upgradable weapons. I'll get to the last weapon because I want to keep it for the last and just talk about why I love that weapon so much. But I'll get to that. We'll also talk about the special weapons, and we'll talk about the melee weapons as well. So here's the thing. You get special weapons throughout the game. One is R-7, which is basically a rocket launcher, which you get to use like once in the game, like once or twice in the game, at the end of the game that too, which is, yeah, it feels great, but nowhere near the Seeker rifle, because that shit rocks. Oh my god. Seeker rifle is just so fun to use, man. You just basically what you do is like you let that rifle bullet just go through that. You control it like in bullet time and shoot everybody. Like it just blasts off. Oh, I can't even explain. That's how cool the weapon is. You should try it whenever you guys get to play Singularity. But holy shit, that rifle is so good. It just like it clears a room full of enemies so quickly just to use the seeker rifle. Oh my god. Not to mention that even the hip fire is so fast. Like it's zoop, 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 zoop. It's literally a rifle, but you blast it like a grenade launcher. And it's so fun to use. Oh man, it's so fun to use that gun. Whenever I found that gun, I always try to keep it, but obviously can't keep it because of the special weapons. There's also melee weapons, which are basically TMD weapons, and the knife. The knife is just there until you find TMD. Now, what is TMD? TMD is time manipulation device. It's basically a function which I'll talk about later as well. It does give you one thing, that is slowing down, and that's about it. But we'll just talk about the knife. The knife you get for the first half of the game, and then after that you never see it. Literally never see it. Come on, man, at least keep the knife for the rest of the game. It takes out the fun factor of using a knife, it's kind of sad because it's so fun to use knives in these first person shooters, alright. But let's talk about my favorite weapon of this game. The freaking auto cannon. The auto cannon is so friggin' good, man. I love that weapon, and you get it halfway through the game, so you get a chance to use that weapon through half of the game. Oh my god, just using this autocannon on all of these enemies is just dunking on them, especially when you have this boss fight where you find this giant critter. Oh my god, it is so fun to use. Oh, I love it. Well, you also get like various boss fights, right? Your mini boss fights like the giant critters, the big Zekers, those guys. Like you get the variations of them. And whenever you use this weapon, you feel invisible because just of how good invincible I meant. You feel invincible because it's just so freaking good. It's just so freaking good. The right mouse button, the secondary mouse button for this, what was basically it loading it up, like gearing it up, and then the left mouse button was shooting it. If you gear it up for early on, you walk at a snail's pace, but you're always ready to shoot. If you don't, then you have to gear up and start shooting. That is what I love about it, because there's like all these weapons, right? And all these weapons have various stuff going on for it. Yeah, yeah. Some of these weapons are unique and stuff, but all cannon is your classic Bronk run and gun machine gun. It is your classic run and gun machine gun. That's basically it, and I love it. I love every part of it. And I have good reason for it. It's just so fun. It's fun blasting off enemies, and that's I think so why I was having so much fun with Singularity, because I was just blasting off enemies with this gun. It was so much fun. Yeah, I'm talking about autocannon. Let's also move on to the next gun. Well, weapon, not a gun. Yeah, the final weapon that you get. That is basically the TMD, which is time manipulation device again. So, time manipulation device, what is this thing? It is something you get when you, like, I don't know, somehow travel to the past for some reason. So it's basically this device you get, right, to travel to past, future, and everything. So whenever you like use your Q ability, it's on keyboard. I don't know what the abilities will be on the consoles, but whenever you use your Q ability, you basically age up, or basically bring them back to past, bring it to the future. It basically time manipulation. When you use the E ability, you can slow down time, and when you use the middle mouse button, you basically blast off the enemies. So that is the basic stuff on this, right? While you have the TMD, you can also like track by using F. You can track where to we need to go for future references, right? So that is pretty cool. I think so. TMD is a pretty cool concept and everything. I just wish it has more use of it, because other than solving puzzles and going through various like chores and stuff, like killing enemies and stuff, some of the specific enemies that need TMD, there really isn't any use of it. Puzzles and killing like critters, I think that those are the only times when I actually use the TMD, because in the end you just get unlimited TMD, right? Like you need it has a bar, just like your health bar. It has like it just call it a mana bar basically. So whenever it's down, you can't use it. But it was never down because I never needed to use it. I mostly use my guns, which are already pretty capable of dealing with all these enemies, and it really isn't that useful. And I wish it was more implemented, but it's fine because I had so much fun with the gunplay. I mean, it's Call of Duty clone. I do have fun with all Call of Duty games, like Modern Warfare and Black Ops, the old ones. I do have fun with those. But at the same time, I think that this uniqueness that it brought to the game of TMD and stuff, it needed to be implemented much better than it was, because it's just. I, I never felt the need, except for the critters, I never felt the need to use TMD, and the critters appeared for like two portions of the game, and yeah, I never needed to really worry about any of those situation. Here's the funny part, alright? I have also played another game developed by the same Raven Software's title, which is I played a few of them actually. But on this very specific engine, there's another game that I played that was made by Raven Softwares, and that was X-Men Origins Wolverine. I played it on my channel like a year, 2 years ago, I think, and that was also a very fun game. That's when Raven used to make fun games, guys. Actually, because I played a bunch of Raven games before Call of Duty Pit appeared for them. I played a bunch of their games like Soldier of Fortune, X-Men Wolverine Origins and stuff. Like I played a bunch of their games like that. And Singularity is one of their games, and it's always been fun for me. The adventure that they don't present anything that is specifically like, oh my god, groundbreaking game or this or that. Nah, they don't do that, but they make it like the game is pretty fun to play. It isn't mediocre. It is good, but it isn't exceptional. That's what I would say Raven Software's expectations for me were when, like, I should play games like this. But yeah, again, they went in the Call of Duty hole and everything. So yeah. Anyways, getting back into the topic that we're talking about, you also find stim packs, which is basically like health recovery packs, and you also find health packs, which are basically like you get like a bunch of health packs, like a number of them. Like max is 5, which can be upgradable to 8 with upgrades. Oh yeah, upgrade system. Let's talk about that as well. So there are there are two types of upgrades systems. Number one is weapon upgrades, where all the weapons have the same type of upgrades: damage, clip, and reload speed. Those three are common upgrades in all the weapons for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah. Those are the common type of upgrades, and you find various type of weapon parts, weapon techs throughout the game, which you can just get through going through secret passages and stuff. Some of them I couldn't get, some of them I got. So yeah. Second type of upgrade. Let's also talk about that. The second type of upgrade that you get is augmentation upgrade. Augmentation upgrade is basically your TMD upgrade, your health upgrade, your mana upgrade. Yeah, I'll call E99 as mana. Your mana upgrade, various type of hero perks, various type of I don't know, ammo capacity type of thing, various type of things that are miscellaneous, I'd say, and also important to TMD. So those two, I would say, are the things. You can also buy weapon tech from there, but I don't think so that money is enough. Yeah, you get money throughout this game, which are basically, I would say, E99 tech. I think that that's what it is called. I don't remember. But you get money throughout this game, and the more you get, the better for you, because you can basically upgrade stuff. And for the weapons, you get weapon tech, obviously, like I said. So there's like a bunch of these things everywhere, and you are doing great and everything. But you can pretty much complete the game in a view and without doing all of that. And when I say yeah, it is actually true, because I completed the game without many upgrades as well. Because I played the game at least 2 times, because again, I had fun playing the game. Remember when games used to be made just for fun? Yeah, good old days. But I actually had pretty fun playing this game, and it's straight up like was very fun, because it's that old type of Call of Duty gameplay, gunplay, I would say, and I always loved that. So I have no complaints whatsoever. So yeah, we follow Nathaniel Renko throughout various missions and stuff, and we start off with nothing. And basically, there's a tutorial type of mission which is basically led by Devlin, who's like a comrade or something like that. So yeah, like there are various type of things like we can like interact with him throughout the environment. There are notes, there are chests, there are recorders, and those are something that will lead you to a lot of clues for your ending, which is also pretty good, I think so. Something that is satisfying yet craving for more, I would say. So yeah, and then there are some things that you just interacted and you're like, what the hell? Why did I interact with that? Yeah, there's something like that as well. But yeah, and the weapon carry system is like you can only carry two at a time, just like Call of Duty, I would say. Like there is no actual inventory for weapons, so you just like carry two weapons at a time, which I'm fine with, honestly, because I did prefer it like that sometimes. In some games it's fine. In some games I just want a bunch of weapon. In this game, I loved the autocannon, and my second weapon usually was the sniper, so I was just like, autocannon. I used to love it. But yeah, there's very specific parts where you need a specific weapon to complete that specific part. For example, this one section later on in the game where you have to basically use a grenade launcher and just that use the grenade launcher's right click so that it can roll in and open the door for you. So yeah, very specific parts you have to do things with. Yeah, and this game has a capability of blasting off head or severing limbs and blasting off torsos. Love that shit. I'm not gonna lie, I love that shit when it comes to the games. Yeah. So yeah, that is basically all of the gameplay elements that I talked about. I love the gameplay elements. It's just a classic Call of Duty type of gameplay, gunplay. The gameplay elements is a bit unique compared to the Call of Duty series, but a lot of the gunplay is very similar to Call of Duty. There's like very similar rig coils and like Call of Duty had, and a lot of similarity. Again, made by Raven Softwares, who was under Activision at that time, and obviously Activision made Call of Duty, and Raven Softwares were part of the team was their part as well when they were making Call of Duty. So yeah, let's also talk about the story now. So here is the story. Like the plot basically revolves around this island that we move into, and there's just some experiment going on, and we take control of Nathaniel Rainko, who's basically an U.S. Special Elite Force soldier. And there's some weird blast, like I said earlier, which basically sends him flying, and we get a new tutorial mission with Devlin out there, and he basically explains to us like some weird shit is going on, something is not right, and everything. And then there's this weird ass thing that happens where there's a shootout and everything, and then all of a sudden Devlin dies. What? What? So, like, what happens is you go back in time, you save Ivan, and honestly, I thought Devlin would be our guy who'd stick with us throughout. But what happens instead is he just dies. Ivan comes and kills him. Ivan is basically Demichov, I think, so that is his second name. But he comes out there and he kills him just straight up. And he's like, "Where's the TMD?" I'm like, okay, bro. I don't even know what that is. The game just started, but what? We already lost somebody. See, I wasn't attached to it or anything. It's just I just found it funny because it was like, what already? So the game is just gonna kill people off. Okay, but they never did actually. That's the funny part. None of the guys actually died, if I remember correctly. Anyways, moving on. So we are recruited to MIR 12, if I remember correctly. So we have to find a TMD before they find a TMD. So we don't find a TMD just yet. We just get sent back in time somehow. I don't know how that happens, but this they never explain that how you get bugs sent back in time. But yeah. But you have to use a TMD, go back and save this guy named Barisov, who's basically a doctor who was part of this experiment as well. And Barisov, basically, we save him, and he asks us to meet him in a tower so that he can make a plan to blow up the singularity before it was activated. So throughout the game, we are like switching between 1952 and 2010s, like they're dealing with the Russian force in both periods basically. So yeah, so throughout all this we just go through and do that. So some of the levels that we go through are weird. Like this one sewer level that I seriously hate with all my life. It's a curse in video games. Like the sewer levels are a curse in video games. This got no. This is the level that had critters in it, and that's the only reason I hate it because everything else was fine. Why do you need to put the critters in there? Because they literally annoy the shit out of me. I died there more than any of the times that I ever died in the whole game. The whole game. Oh, sorry, I burped. But the whole game is like about 4 to 5 hours long at max if you try to play it. And you're telling me in 4 to 5 hours I died at least 30 minutes of my time was wasted in that whole ass sewer level, all because these critters are trying to kill me over and over again. I had to get it out. I'm sorry. Really hate those critters. Like it's really I hate it. I hate it with all my heart. But yeah, we had the sewer level, and we also have right after that we have the pearl, the ship that we have to do. That is another level that I hate, only specifically because there are so many confusing puzzles in it with no clear indication to what you need to do. The ship was another place that I was stuck for about 30 to 40 minutes, all because I had no idea. I'm telling you, I played this game for about 5 to 6 hours only because I was stuck. In at least 2 hours of the game, I was stuck. That's it. The game is like 4 hours long, and 2 hours of the game I was stuck doing puzzles. Number one, puzzles, and number two, critters. Those were the two reasons I wasn't able to do the game properly, complete the game properly. Though the bosses are cool, the big critter, the giant critter, killing that guy was pretty satisfying. Very satisfying. So satisfying. It's orgasmic to kill that guy because I hate critters in this game. I have a hate boner for them. Number two, I really enjoyed defeating the Zetter bosses as well. There are two types of Zetter bosses. One is a really big blob type of Zetter boss who has more who summons more Zetters. Another one is basically this guy with like a heart basically, where you have the first section you have to kill him like you have to shoot him in between the heart, then behind the heart, then on the head. So like there's like front heart, back heart, and then head heart. That's basically how you have to defeat him. Pretty cool. I like the concept of that guy as well. It was pretty cool fighting him as well. That guy and both the other bosses were pretty cool for me. I liked him, but the giant critter boss, yeah, I had satisfaction killing that one. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we have to find this E99 bombs so that we could go back in time and destroy the whole project and everything, right? So we do recover the bomb basically, but turns out that the bomb from the pearl that we recovered is just not charged enough. Also, Catherine, who's another character that we have, she just dies and is indicated that she's dead. We'll get to that part later as well. So yeah, the core of the bomb is missing, so we have to go to the cooker. And the cooker is another annoying part because it's another series of puzzles that I have to do in cooker. Yeah, the puzzle indication is really bad in some of this. I'll just say that. I didn't like the cooker. I didn't like the pearl. Yeah, those two places because the puzzle was so confusing, both of them. The sewer level I just specifically did not like for Critter, but these two I have uh, I've genuinely say the indication to what needed to be done is not clear at all, because there was this one part where I was using the grenade launcher, right? And I think that was just the second time I actually held the grenade launcher because I thought it's not that great use. Later on, I come to know that I could actually use my second mouse button to actually control my grenade launcher, and I was just like, wait, what? The shells that I launch, I can actually control them using the second launcher. Yeah, that was the whole part where I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I discovered that, but it was cool for like 2 seconds because I was just like, oh, that's cool, and then I used it over and over again until I ran out, and then I went back to my autocannon because autocannon is just amazing. But yeah, basically we get E99 bomb, we go over to the pass, we get the core, and we try to destroy it. But when we come back in 2010, it seems like nothing has happened, and all we see is that Demichev is holding Barisov as a hostage right behind us, and he reveals to us that even if he detonated the bomb, Demichev had already had the bomb like previous in another location. Basically, this whole facility and everything, it was in another location, and Renko basically shoots him, which is basically non-lethal type, and he frees our guy Beresov. All right, and Beresov figured out what was wrong. And Beresov realized that the real problem is us because we saved him at the start of the game, and he rewrote history and basically sent like this whole spiral thing where Demichev was basically the leader of Soviet Russian, and we were the reason why this all happened, and history has been rewritten by us. And we have to go and kill Demichev in the past, or basically kill ourselves in the past, so that Brenko can basically do that, right? But it turns out like Demichev tells us something that really intrigues everybody. That is that there's clues all around the place that this shit is not gonna work. And who do you think wrote that clues? We did. It turns out there was this guy at the start that was yelling, "Don't save Demichev. Don't save him." I think so. That's what he said. And we were that guy who traveled to the past to prevent ourselves from saving Demichev, but we still save it because we don't know anything about it. And I thought that was pretty cool, okay? The story writing over there is pretty cool, in all honesty. I think this is some fine artwork where everything comes in full circle to us. And yeah, this is why I said like the ending is satisfying to me. The game is short, but I don't mind it because it's just pretty satisfying for what it is. It is nothing exceptional. Take it, but it's not average by any means as well. It is between average and exceptional. Like it's good. It is right over there, like the good mark. I think so. That's what I'll give it, because it's just that all these things happen, and it is well written. I would say it says well, and it stays well with us, and you get a choice in the end, which is pretty cool. So these choices lead to four endings. One is where we could shoot Barisov. One other one is you could shoot Demichev, and then we another one is we can choose both of them, or we can't kill anybody. So I'm gonna talk about each endings. Me personally, what I did is the killing both of them ending. I think that is a perfect true ending, I would say, to what it is, right? But I think that is the true ending, honestly, because of the post credit scenes. That's why. But I think this is my true ending. I did the kill both endings, and I'll get to that at the end of everything. But talk about the other three endings that we can do over here. So I only did two endings. Like I said, I played the game twice. So after researching, I also came to know what the other two endings were. So I did the killing the both of them, that ending, and as well as the shooting Demichev ending, right? So I'll get to both of them in a bit. Let's talk about the one where we shoot Barisov first and join Demichev. What happens? He basically becomes a powerful general in the Soviet army and utilizes the power of TMD. And Renko trains the island's sec population basically, and they become the soldiers for him who basically battle throughout the world, wiping all those who stand in our way basically. And they also hunt down all the operatives of MIR 12, and the organization just ceased to exist. And after that we take basically we take control of the TMD, and because of that, Debuchev feels that we are way too powerful, and he takes measures against us and starts developing a weapon in United States, and settles into like a big ass Cold War with Renko on one side and Demichev on one side. Now the concept is cool, but it doesn't end up being the post credit type of thing. I think so because the post credit scene does explain a thing that happens in the start of the game. And again, that is the reason why I said the shooting two things is my true ending. I think so through me, what I feel like is a true ending. All right. I don't even know if there's an official true ending or anything like that, but this is my personal true ending, so I'll say that when I get to it. Let's also talk about the other one while I'm at it. This does not give any kind of ending. It's just basically what it does is just if you don't decide to shoot anybody, what damage it does is just he picks up the drop gun and kills both of us. That's it. There is nothing else that happens. That's it. That is all there is to it. Let's also talk about the shooting Demichev ending. What happens then? If that happens, then basically what happens is Barisov basically tells us to go back in time and kill us as like we were saving Demishev, right? So we do that. We assume the player of the guy basically who was shooting, not shooting, sorry, who was shouting at the at us. It's very weird talking in that way, like we were shouting at us. Yeah, so we take that position, but instead of being crushed by debris, we shoot the past us, and shooting the past us sends us back into the present, where apparently Devlin and us, the main character Renko, we arrive at the island where we are in the game's intro scene, right? And everything is written in Russian, and like the helicopters basically have like this sickle and hammer and everything, indicating that the helicopter is a Russian thing and everything. And there's no comments on what happened in the mission and everything. And it was just a waste of time, according to Devlin. Like, and we see the helicopter moving past all these statues and massive monuments, and it turns out that Barisov is wearing a TMD. And Renko, our main character, who is like retained all his memory from the rest of the game, basically checks his hand, and when he sees the monument, it's basically like Renko and Devlin are basically part of this Russian army, Soviet rule. Basically, it is pretty cool. I think so that that happened as well. It's a pretty cool ending. I think because it indicates that because we shot Demichev Barisov to control of the world, showing that Barisov is actually not truly um an ally as it was indicated. It's obvious it's not an ally because we even wrote in one of the statements that do not trust MIR 12. Cool. I really liked it that they did not just straight up make him a good guy, and there is an alternate motive that Barisov had, that is to have world domination. And I liked it. It was a pretty cool ending as well. I think that's one of the endings that I enjoyed, in my opinion. Another ending that I think so is true ending is shooting both of them because we have all the clues leading to all of these endings, right? So like I think so this is the best ending I think so that could happen over here. So we shoot them. We let the world like fall into chaos, and this there's this belief in public that we are a myth and we disappeared with TMD in our possession. So the singularity, it explodes after a few years and destroys the eastern coast of Russia and the western coast of Alaska. letting all the mutants out on the mainland of Russia and wreaking havoc all over the place. And MIR-12 obviously begins a manhunt for Barisov's killer. They don't know it is us, and basically they are unsuccessful. So a new leader for rises in the United States, and it is reported that the leader is very aggressive and tyrannical, and he released the entire world with an iron fist. So there is this heavy implication from the game where we are basically the new leader, and that would make sense because the post-credit scenes shows Catherine going back in 1955 from Pearl's wreckage. Yes, Catherine survived. She's injured and she's losing blood like crazy, and there's this whole confusion that is happening during like Demish's seizure of power, and she goes inside one of the office, looks like the MIR-12 journal, and she writes a message saying this original message which said Renko. There had this one named Nathaniel Renko in a journal, right? And this MIR-12 journal that it had, that we had to search for this guy named Nathaniel Renko. That basically sets the motion for the whole game to restart again, and that is so cool in my opinion because it just restarts. It's a cycle happening all over again. It is so cool in my opinion. I loved it. It's 10 out of 10. It is one of the best things that I've seen in this game. Hands down. Hands down. I am. It was great, the ending. This ending, I think so. And I like that there are four endings in this game, okay? Again, the game is not exceptional or anything. I never said that. But the game is pretty cool. I love the game. It was very enjoyable for the 6 to 7 hours that I played the game, and obviously I played the ending again. I just didn't want to go through the whole sit through the whole ending over and over again because the ending takes like 30 minutes to complete, and I just didn't want like nah, not gonna do 2 more times. It just if there was a way to start off the ending right from where you shoot, you get a choice to shoot both of them, right? So you could just shoot one and then go other. But nah, there's no choice like that. You shoot one, you shoot both, shoot another one. It's basically shoot, shoot, shoot. So yeah. Anyways, the game is pretty fun, I think so, and in my opinion, is still it still holds up pretty well when it comes to how it works and everything, how the gameplay is and everything. I love the game in general, and I never expected that I was gonna play this game because I was playing War Hospital this week. Well, what happened to War Hospital, you'll ask? Well, I'm learning the game. Okay, it's tough to learn that game. It is very weird, even weirder than Frostpunk, which I love Frostpunk. Okay, and I'll get to that game at some point as well because Frostpunk 2 is coming this year, and I want to play that also as well. But Frostpunk 1, I'll get to it eventually. But dude, War Hospital. Yeah, I was gonna do that right after I was done with this game. What was it? What was the game? Expedition Conquistador. Yeah, after I was done with that, I was about to do video on War Hospital, but holy shit, that game is so hard to complete. Like, oh my god, I can't put emphasis on how hard that game is. Because I am still in chapter 1 and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell am I supposed to do. Because even the tutorial is so bland and unexplanatory on what I need to do. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I need to work on, and yeah. My big problem, if anybody has played War Hospital, okay, my big problem with War Hospital is that the morale. I can never keep my morale high, or even about 30%. That is my huge issue. But yeah, in comments, if you guys played War Hospital, give me tips. I guess that's about it. Weird saying that on a Singularity video, but yeah. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. This is another video that had the game that was pretty short but enjoyable, I would say. Next week, I'm not going to promise any of the games. Like, I have Prototype right now installed, but I don't know if I'll play it just yet. I also have War Hospital installed, but I think I still want to learn the game before I actually play it. And number 3, I have Phoenix Wright and Age of Wonders. I most probably will play Phoenix Wright and most probably will take a break this week since I already uploaded 2 videos, and I think that that's more than fine for me to run along with because this is the second video that I'm loading this week. So I most probably will take a video next, like a break next week and complete Phoenix Wright. Whenever I complete Phoenix Wright, you'll get the video out the next day, or like whenever I'm done like recording and voiceover, and as well as the gameplay, gameplay footage and everything is cut to power brink and everything, like editing is done and everything. You guys will get that on the next day of that, like yeah, whenever I'm done with rendering and stuff. It takes a while. It takes at least 3-4 days for me to actually work on these videos because I have to like concentrate on stuff and everything, right? Like if I'm missing out on something, I have to like research on that as well. So there's a bunch of stuff that I have to do when I'm doing voiceovers and stuff. So yeah, obviously it'll take a few days, and if I'm not lazy, it'll be at max 2 days, or if I'm lazy, it takes me 3 or 4 days. But usually, I'm not lazy to do these videos because I enjoy them, enjoy working on this stuff, and I enjoy talking about these games that I play, right? I enjoy talking about them. I don't like giving a review on them or anything. I like giving an overview on the game that I played, and I love saying what I loved and what I hated about the game. It's basically my way of taking out the frustrations and my happiness of completing this game. So yeah, I'm thinking about also doing bad game month. I just don't know when that'll be. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And it will tell me which one do you think should be a bad game month where I played all like bad games that I find. So yeah, until next time, boys. Hopefully, I can get a Phoenix Wright video on next time. If that's not the case, you'll at least get an Age of Wonders because that doesn't take that long as Phoenix Wright. But yeah, until next time, boys. Peace out.